Welcome back to Mimi's Organic Eats. Today I'm going to show you guys how to frost cupcakes 12 different ways. So the other day, my best friend, who doesn't live in the same town as me, was texting me frantically. And she was like, how do I frost cupcakes? I'm frosting cupcakes for my kid's birthday at school and I need help. And I couldn't find anything on your website on how to frost cupcakes. So I realized I had no tutorial on how to frost cupcakes, even though I have taught a countless number of staff at my bakery how to frost cupcakes with no baking experience at all. So today I'm going to show you a dozen of my favorite ways to frost cupcakes. So the first thing you want to do is have your cupcakes baked and your frosting ready to go. The first way I'm going to show you how to decorate cupcakes is just with a spoon. You don't need a piping bag or decorating tip at all, and you can frost cupcakes with ease and they still look really cute. So all you're going to do is grab a little bit of frosting with your spoon and then spoon it onto your cupcake. Once you have a little bit of frosting on your cupcake, you're just going to take the back of the spoon and just kind of smooth it out and give it a little swirl. And there you go. And now you can just top this cupcake with some rainbow sprinkles. So the first tip I'm going to share with you guys is Ateco tip number 808. And I use this tip a lot, and this is just like a round circle tip. So you could even mimic this tip with just like a Ziploc bag by cutting a hole, or even just by cutting a hole in your piping bag as well too. So to fill your piping bag, add the tip, and then cut a hole just so the end of the tip fits through the hole. And then my favorite trick for filling a piping bag is using a milkshake cup because it makes it super easy to fill it. So I like to use this tip as just like one giant dollop on top of the cupcake. The second decorating tip I'm going to share with you guys is my absolute favorite. It is Ateco tip number 827. And this is a big open star tip. So this is going to be like your most classic swirl tall cupcake. And this is how I would frost cupcakes at my bakery all the time. To pipe the classic swirl on top of this cupcake, I'm going to apply even pressure and go all the way around the cupcake one time and then lift up and then go around a second time. The biggest problem that beginner bakers have with this technique is applying the right amount of pressure. So you want to actually press out the frosting more than you think you should. You want to have a really good amount of pressure when you're going around with this swirl, otherwise it's not going to look right. The next tip I'm going to share with you guys is Ateco tip number 846. This is also one of my favorite tips because this is the most versatile tip that you can use if you want to do a lot of different decorations on top of your cupcakes. So I'm going to show you 4 different ways to use this tip that I really love. So the first way I'm going to show you how to use this tip is just to pipe a circle around the edge of the cupcake, and then you can fill the center with something like caramel sauce, chocolate ganache, or like a jam. The second way I'm going to show you guys how to use this tip is just to pipe little dollops on top of the cupcake. And this is really easy for beginner bakers, so if you're new to baking, this is a great way to decorate your cupcakes. The next way I'm going to show you how to use Ateco tip number 846 is to pipe a rose on top of the cupcake. Now this is really pretty and it's super easy. You're going to start by holding your piping bag straight up in the air, and you don't want to have any sort of angle when you're doing this, otherwise it's not going to turn out right. So you want to start in the middle, and then you're going to apply a good amount of pressure, like I said, probably more than you think that you need, because that's what's going to make it look good. And then you're going to start in the middle, and you're going to pipe a swirl out to the edge of the cupcake and stop when you're at the edge. And the last way I'm going to show you how to use tip number 846 is to pipe a zigzag on top of the cupcake. And so you can do this with the piping bag straight, or you can do it even at a little bit of an angle. Either will work. All you're going to do is just pipe a zigzag on top of the cupcake. This is really easy, and it's also really good for beginners. So if you're new to cupcake decorating, try out this technique. The next tip I'm going to show you is Ateco tip number 864. And this is just like a closed, smaller star than the ones we're previously using. So you can use this in the same way as we use the other ones, but these are 3 of my favorite ways to use this tip. The first way is just going to be to pipe dollops on top of the cupcake. The next way I like to use this tip is just to do the zigzag that we did before with the other tip. It works for this one as well. And then the last way I like to use this tip is I like to make little rosettes and then fill in with little dollops. This is a fun way to decorate cupcakes. And the last tip I'm going to share with you guys is Ateco tip number 104. This is what I like to call the ruffle tip. So this is going to give your cupcakes a little ruffle effect. So to create the ruffle effect, you're going to have the larger part of the tip pointed towards the cupcake and the smaller end of the tip pointed up towards the ceiling. Then you're just going to go around the cupcake in a circle and apply a good amount of pressure. The last way I'm going to show you how to frost cupcakes using tip number 104 is to pipe a rose on top of the cupcake. This is probably going to be the most advanced of all these techniques. So when you use tip number 104, you're going to have the larger side pointed onto the cupcake and the smaller side pointed up to the ceiling. The first step is going to create a cone in the middle of the cupcake. And then you're going to do one more layer right on top. This is the center of the rose. Then you're going to go around the cupcake and pipe upside down U's all the way around this cone, and it's going to get larger and larger and larger until it fills the entire cupcake. I hope this tutorial helps you improve your cupcake decorating skills at home. If you want more baking tutorials just like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join me next time in the kitchen.